My girlfriend broke up with me because we weren't changing for each other. Me and my girlfriend have been loving each other for a very long time. 9 months, and we have been constantly talking, FaceTiming, and texting. We have been very strong from the start when we started dating during school, and we talk to each other every day plus hangouts. But I noticed ever since the summer break hit we kinda shifted. We still talked every day and texted and called, but it wasn't the same. We started arguing more often, causing constant times where we explain our ideas of what's wrong. We both did not change, nevertheless causing to hurt each other more. We kept on doing this for a month where we argue but wanting the partner to one thing differently. But we never changed. 2 days ago me and my girlfriend had a hangout to see the Barbie movie. It was the regular cuddle laugh talk. But when the movie started she didn't talk. And I know it's a movie, why would you talk? But me and her were the annoying couple that talked the whole movie, and I loved that. But this we didn't, we just watched the movie while we sat there. After the movie we got our stuff and then left, then went fast straight away to my mom's car parked outside. We went in the car and for some reason we were weird not talking to each other, just sitting there and looking around. This happened most of the drive till the end when we started talking again. As soon as we got to her house we thanked my mom and went in. I also forgot to state the fact that it was birthday and we doing the hangout for her birthday. After we got in we sat on the couch and we talked how about I might have to go home because very bad winds are going to happen soon. So I texted my mom to turn around and she said it would take 10 more minutes. During those 10 more minutes I felt a little hurt because I didn't want to leave that early, I just wanted to stay and hug her. But I couldn't, I already texted, after my girlfriend tried hugging me, but for some reason I was being a little petty and not wanting to hug back because I wanted her to feel a little regret for wanting to me leave so soon. But I know that's childish and she is doing that to protect me, but I'm just like that for some reason. She hugged me multiple times and I hugged her back when she told me to. My mom got there and took me home and we called that night to talk about it and how I didn't like that hangout because we barely said anything to each other. She disagreed and said that she liked it, but I know she's just saying that. It was the normal. Then I went to sleep. The next day it was a usual day till the evening because she was hanging out with her friend, and she was being very dry to me, so I confronted her and texted her about it. We didn't talk the rest of the day, until she texted me want to call at 8. While I was getting back from practice I couldn't call, so I texted later. So we texted and continued about the conversation, but for some reason I brought up breaking up. I was being petty again and I feel I wanted that reassurance that she normally said no, we should never break up because she loves me. But this time it was different. She started agreeing and saying maybe it's for the better because we haven't changed for one another and the relationship will keep on hurting us. After this I realized it was turning for real and I called her trying to convince her that I will change now for real, I won't be petty and I won't be weird anymore. But she kept saying it was too late and you should have done it earlier, and she really do love me but needs some time for herself to find out her own feelings. I felt lost and begged her that whole night with paragraphs that I will change and calling her saying I will and we can continue. And stuff like why you giving up? I kept saying it was too fast and she only thought of breaking up in 1 hour, that it isn't smart and we should change now because now I'm awake. I tried and tired, but she kept saying no, we tried to change before and nothing worked, and maybe if I changed earlier I wouldn't be in this scenario with her. So I kept on persisting till she said it's over. I went to sleep and woke up the next morning with me continuing to persist, and she said that she doesn't want to force a relationship. So I finally let out and said okay, I will give you space. She was crying but I was crying too. So a couple hours passed and I deleted everything I have with her Snap, photos, and everything except her phone number. We texted a few times with me normally starting it about how it's going to be hard but it's for the better. And I just stopped texting. Later she called me and I felt like it was her trying to get back together with me, so I got joy. But no, it was her stating that she doesn't hate me and that she had fun and hopefully in the future we can work out again. I agreed and then hanged up in a nice way. Hours later I continued getting the urge to text her, but I know it would be bad. But I did anyways. I texted that I finally understand that maybe space is better to focus on myself, and I apologized for trying to force her in a relationship she didn't want. It really hurt texting it, but I did. We later agreed on giving space, and maybe in the future we can try again, or if not, be friends again. And I'm agreeing to that in the hopes of reflecting on myself, but also to gain her trust and restart with her. To build a healthier relationship as a friend, and maybe help her gain full feelings back so we can be together again. But right now I'm at all-time low. She helped me a lot with myself and insecurities, and I feel like I truly still love her. I texted her, "Can you text me when you wanna text again to be friends?" and she agreed. So hopefully that text comes sooner, but if not, I'm not sure how to get over her. I'm still going to have full love for her because she was my first and I would never forget her. Please leave your opinion on how to go about this. Should I win her back or let her go? Comment. You have only stated the situations and the environment without actually raising any specific issues and communications between each other, so it's hard to tell what went wrong. As a guy, this is a very male thing to do. And maybe that is the issue. My general takeaway is that both of you are too immature, not emotionally available enough, and most of all have terrible communication skills. Seems like both of you talk around issues rather than solving them. Not willing to compromise and look at what really matters. It could just be that both of you have different views on life and priorities, which you can't do much about. If, for example, a relationship between an evangelist Christian and an atheist is not gonna work out due to totally different values. You might have had good time together, but it is important to reflect on the conflicts that you had with her. Either you realize that you're fundamentally different people, or that it was all petty and you focused on the wrong thing. I think it will be a good lesson learned to take into future relationships, where you can have a better start. Sometimes the baggage in the relationship is too much to try to salvage it. Just the fact that it didn't take very long for issues to appear. But there is nowhere near enough info to tell. Next story 2. Best friend kept a secret from me. I've been best friends with Charity since we were freshmen in high school. Charity was always expressive, and talked a lot, and had seemed to always be doing well in life. However, there have been times where she'd tell me of her depression, her family issues, and her own personal problems. She seemed so transparent to the point I thought I knew everything about her. Recently, in April, she became very distant from me, and I had to contact her brother just to see if she was okay. She messaged me after I reached out to him, and said she was just taking a social media break, but that she'd be back in touch soon. So in June we became in contact again, and I started to ask her about her 21st birthday party celebration, and when she'd have it. We were talking about it being a slumber party before April, but it slowly dwindled out to just going somewhere, like we did last summer. But the day we were supposed to meet up, she cancelled because our ride bailed on her. I was completely understanding, and suggested some other ways we could hang out, such as my mom picking her up, but she made some excuses about work and never circled back to the discussion. I thought that meant we probably wouldn't see each other, so I decided to just mail her her birthday present. However, I received an email saying my package was being returned to sender. That really confused me. I personally don't drive, so I asked my mother to drive me to the address, and the home looked vacant, seeming as no one lived there. I messaged her asking if she got my package, to which she said, no, she didn't. I told her I sent it to her address, but it got returned to me. She didn't answer me for a few hours, and when she did, she told me that she has been financially struggling since April, and alongside that, homeless, living out of hotel rooms. She said it was just something very personal, that she didn't know how to bring up or want to talk about. I told her I felt very hurt that she felt she couldn't tell me that, and honestly I did call her a bad friend for getting my hopes up that we could ever hang out this summer when she had so much going on. However, she said that it wasn't her intentions to hurt me, but that it was simply none of my business. She said she always had the intentions of hanging out with me before I went back to university, and that she did try, but our plans fell through, And after the plan fell through, work and her life situation always got in the way. She told me it was probably best we don't see each other this summer, and that she had a lot to focus on. Since then, we haven't really spoken, and I've recently learned that someone in her family is facing health issues that's really taking an effect on her, but I can't bring myself to talk to her about it. I don't know if I was insensitive to her situation or if I was in the right to feel upset that as her best friend, she left me so deep in the dark. That she couldn't trust me with that information, and I wouldn't have been so persistent on hanging out if I had just known. I guess I'm just stuck on what could I have done differently? And am I right in the way I feel? Do I offer to help her with anything if she needs it? And how can I be a friend that she can rely on in this time of need, or did I already drop that ball? Comment. Way to go. Pointing out how she hurt you is a great way of supporting a friend who is in trouble. If she wanted your support or help, she would have asked for it. You kept digging until she was forced to reveal her shame, which she very clearly was reluctant to share. No. I think you dropped the ball.